What's up, everybody? Welcome to That Anime Show. I'm Terri Doty.
I'm J. Michael Tatum.
And today, well, should be no surprise, our guest is Tia Ballard. Hi,
Yay!
Tia.
Hi!
We are recording at our home. Or my home, not the Tatum and I.
together.
Tatum and I
I
don't.
don't live here. I don't live here.
No, well,
We're in
there
our
are
rooms right
times
now.
when
We might as well, but
we might as well, dude. That would sitcom. Sitcom.
Yeah. They fight crime.
They're not married. Whoa!
We get mistaken for a married couple all the time.
That or brother and sister.
Or brother and
which
sister.
I think is so funny. It's either like, oh, you're not brother and sister? Oh, are you married? And we're like, what?
Yeah, they
What?
go there. They go, yeah. I'm like, this is a bizarre line of questioning.
You don't even
Are you
look
married?
like
No.
you're
Are you
married.
brother and sister?
No.
No. Are you cousins? No. Why? What? Why? Why do we have? How about
You
we
both
just
have
be
dark
friends?
hair.
We both
So
have dark
Oh,
obviously
we're
hair.
friends. Oh, so you guys used to date. What?
No. It's so.
They're like,
people are
he's
weird.
gay. They're like, what'd you do?
We don't talk about that
Something
story.
right, apparently. I don't know.
Well, no, we're just friends now. Then you're the one who turned me back.
Yeah. Oh,
Apparently.
thank God.
I'm like, wow, that was a mistake.
Oh, Lord. Oh, hey, this is Anime Talk, totally.
Totally. Hey, we're in the business and we're talking.
Oh, speaking of, I totally, for the most part, I had the week off with the snow and all that stuff, so I caught up on anime that I'm not involved in, which is a lot, but I'm like, I just need to sit down and watch a bunch of these, and I watched Baccano pretty much in one day.
I'm glad you watched that. That's a great show.
I love it. You
I'm
and
biased,
Caitlin,
but
obviously,
I'm
you and
afraid it's a
Caitlin
great
are
show.
my favies. Tyler was just an amazing director, and
Great
what
show.
really killed me is Joel in that show with the jacuzzi voice.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I mentioned it
so
when we had him
high.
on a couple weeks back or whatever. I wasn't familiar with Joel's work as a voice actor up to that point because he was still kind of new up there. He was directing, but he wasn't really. I hadn't heard of him.
He was more of a director at first.
Yeah. And then when I started recording on Baccano, there was a scene with jacuzzi, and I'm like, who is that, Tyler? They're good. I like that voice. And he was like, oh, that's good.
Well,
I'm
listen.
like, you gotta be kidding me. No. And so like I wrenched out of the booth and went and found Joel. Like, what is this all about? Where did this come from? I didn't know you could do this. What is wrong? Why have you been hiding this?
What's wrong with you?
And he's
But
so-
now that kid's getting so, I say kid, he's older than me.
He's
But
a
he's
kid. He's a
shorter
kid to
than
me.
me, which a lot of people are, so I call him a kid. But he's getting so much work now. I'm so excited.
As it should be. He's really, really good. And we've had the good fortune of seeing Joel McDonald on stage.
What was the show?
I cannot remember the name of that show.
It's where
I
he
just
played the
remember-
violin terribly.
He played. Yeah, that was the joke though. He was this guy taking violin lessons, but he was
no,
so
the
good.
character was supposed to know how to play the violin.
What did they? Oh,
And so they went with him playing it bad and just changed the intent of the read, like how people are reacting. Like instead of like, oh my god, they're like, oh,
that's the
my.
magic. That's the magic of show business.
He's like, yeah, it's only my 5th lesson. They're like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really wonderful. You haven't lived until you've heard Joel McDonald play. What was it? Mary Had Little Lamb or something?
Yeah.
On very very
I
badly,
have to-
completely
yeah.
out of tune. Like on the wrong strings and everything, and it was just scratchy and visited. It was beautiful, but yeah, Joel has.
Baccano was great, and Barino, which
Oh, yay.
Joel is one of the leads.
Oh,
Yoite.
he's great in that one too. Everyone's great in that show.
Tia's
That's
a little bad guy in it.
Yeah.
With
Heck yeah.
Aaron and Kaysen, which is so funny. And I'm like, I love that it's like Aaron and Tia and then Kaysen. Like, I'm like, this works. This is a nice coupling. And then like your boss is Bevins. I'm like, yes, good. But, which it just looks like Bevins in a trench coat
Yeah.
without a hat on. Oh man. Well, okay, you weren't here. Okay, we didn't do a show last week, obviously, because we decided to take some time off because you had to catch up from OhioCon.
I had to yeah, because that's where I was the weekend before. I'd been in OhioCon,
And we had Josh fill in for you.
which y'all did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Did
we
you
really
actually listen to
did.
the show, or you're like, I'm not in it. Why should I watch it?
I didn't listen to it when it was airing. No, I had to download it later because they kept me pretty busy at OhioCon. But
Well, I
was
just
fun.
saw some video like from it. I posted one on that
Oh,
anime
dear.
show. Yes, the jig is up. I moderate the That Anime Show
Oh,
page.
no.
I'm not a moderator on the chat room,
okay.
but I mean, I should be, just so I can be like, Terry's so awesome. Oh my God.
Who's this Michael Tatum guy? Like, how does he get work? Yeah,
Tina's
so that's
gonna be
not
all-
you saying
yeah,
that. Okay,
no.
That's good. That's good. That's good to know.
They said nothing but good things. But tell us about Ohio Con.
Ohio Con was really, really fun. This was my second year to go. Mm-hmm. It is chaired by Emily and Robert DeJesus, who are good personal friends of mine. And the year before, this last year, the first time I went was like the first time I'd been in Ohio in a long time. I used to have friends that lived there, and so I'd been like to Toledo twice, which I don't know why. It's only because I had friends there. There's really there's really nothing. There's no other reason to go to Toledo. It's not like a tourist hotspot or anything like that, from what I'm told. But we didn't get to see much of it when we went. But Columbus, Ohio, is where they hold OhioCon, and it was in the Hyatt Regency, and it's really, really awesome. The first year I went, it snowed like crazy. It was like on average 20 degrees. So you were like
super prepped.
So I was super. I mean, I was like the little kid, like, you know, from A Christmas Story, like couldn't put my arms down. I was so bundled up because I'm like, yeah, I'm from Texas. They're like, bring 8 layers of clothes and like 4 scarves, and you'll
Just
wear them all at the same
sandwiches.
time. And I got into a snowball fight with Aaron Dismuke, and he won, of course. And because
you let him win.
No, I didn't. No, it got ugly because it went from a snowball fight to like an ice sheet fight. Like he was finding shards of ice, and we were like
throwing
them.
About
It was
Aaron
like,
is Aaron's just like, no, you just don't expect it from me. I'm like, no, because unlike these people that knew you when you were a kid, I met you last year. I don't give a shit. I will kill you.
but last year was fun. It was really cool. It was some of the first times I've been to one of the first times I've been to a con and experienced like a major glumpage from fans, because I think Bacano had just come out, and
is it all about the ladies?
There was a few fanboys, which I'm always happy for the fanboys.
You.
I'm like, you're a guy. You can hug me. Come over here. It's okay. But this year was even crazier. I mean, it was there was no snow on the ground, which was a little disappointing because it was apparently all waiting for me when I got back here. But it was cold, but it wasn't bad, and it was
not like this week.
I know,
DFW.
This is crazy. We've had more snow on the ground here in the past like 48 hours.
But now we have to deal with like, can you believe this snow? Like, I don't know you. I don't care. That's like the people that are like, man, it's pouring outside, but we needed it.
Like, you're like, how topical.
How about that sports team?
How about that college sports team that should be playing right now? Yay.
I am in favor of them because I live next door.
But OhioCon was a lot of fun. Wendy Powell was there. Aaron Dismuke was there. Jerry Jewell was there, who is always a laugh riot. Mm-hmm. I tell you what, though, Joshua, of course, my partner and I, he comes with me to all these cons, and he's kind of my... I don't know. He's the person that sort of keeps me sane at these cons, and he's in the. It's really funny. It's like, where's Waldo? And all the pictures of me are. He's in there somewhere. You can see him.
Look for a hat.
And, yeah,
I usually look for a hat and like his face being
and
covered by a camera.
Yeah, and there's always a camera. That's Greg Ayers. That's Greg Ayers' is like universal symbol for Joshua is click. Because
I think Steven's going to try to go as Joshua this Halloween.
I think that he's got his work cut out for him, man. That's you've got quite an attire you have to build between now and then.
You said you were going to go as me, which is
well, yeah, that's easy though. I've already got the hoodie. I just have to find the sports.
I have a look, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I have a look.
You have a look. Yeah,
Chucks,
you do.
Pants,
Chucks,
hoodie,
pants, hoodie,
hair up or down, glasses optional, smirk.
I'm just
scowling.
repeating everything. He's scowling.
Sexy.
But no, it was weird.
Stop repeating me there.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, sorry, I can't get on board with that. Oh no, you're sexy.
No.
This is awkward. But no, the true story. On the flight out to Ohio, which I think we left that Thursday before.
Yeah.
Like in the afternoon. We lucked out on travel because apparently not only did our flight leave like a little bit late because the weather started turning bad, but ours was like one of the last in the air at DFW before they had to shut the airport down for a few hours to start de-icing planes.
You guys left early, like, just for the hell of it.
I like to get there early just so I can, hang out with everybody because I knew Chris and
it's not
Greg Ayers were going to be there.
"Blah!"
And so it was, but like everyone that had like later flights, either had to come much later because flights got canceled, or it was crazy. Like most people that were supposed to be there like at 8 o'clock didn't get into like midnight or 1 in the morning or something because of the backlog of canceled flights at DFW. On the way back, we chose to leave Monday morning, so we had all of Sunday night to kind of party around with the con staff because we like to hang around late and hang out with everyone as long as we can because that's one of the fun. I mean, we have our extended sort of convention family that we only get to see at conventions, so we like to stay as long as we can. And so we waited. We had like a Monday morning flight. Everyone who left Sunday night, which I think there was a good handful of people. I think Aaron was among them, and Jerry and Wendy. And
because I remember seeing Wendy the next day, and it was like
we wound up beating them home Sunday afternoon because about midnight Sunday. Or I guess would that be midnight Monday, whatever. But, they should have been home by now. And I get a text from Jerry and Wendy, all these people going, hey, our planes just made an emergency landing in Kentucky because our one working generator went out. And so that was crazy. And they said, somebody said it was like, they said something to the effect of, oh yeah, we think we're somewhere in Kentucky. And I'm like, okay, somewhere in Kentucky? Like, did you land in an airport or in a field? Like,
no.
How bad of an emergency landing
the
was
phone
this?
keeps cutting out. We crashed into a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
So we lucked out, man. It was crazy. Like, we lucked out seriously with the travel. But,
lucky best.
But it was fun. HavCon was great because
I looked at the pictures. My God, Joshua took almost like 2,000 pictures.
He does. He takes a lot of pictures. And really, the great thing about it is like a full, at least I think he took something like almost 2,000 pictures or something like that.
He told me 1,600.
It's probably, yeah, that's probably right. He's probably giving you, he tends to give a very conservative estimate.
I'm like, how much? And he's like,
1,600 is
it's like 2,500. He's like, took like 1,500.
Yeah, that's 1,600 pictures he's happy with, and that means there's like 3,000.
I'm the same way though.
But like a good quarter of that 1,600 or 2,000 was of Chris Ayers' mock combat panel, which a workshop that he holds. Which
I would
is
never
awesome.
do it, but I love watching it. It is
so much fun. I never. They're always whenever they happen at a convention that he
General Ayers.
General Ayers. He's
no. You are going to hurt yourself if you do that.
He's good,
no,
he's good.
He did it a bit at YuleCon when you were there for the Line Barrels premiere, but he does it at every convention where he's got like 25 years experience, if not more.
Oh, how fun!
He's good at it, and it's great because he has 2 different workshops. He has like the beginners, and then the next day he'll do the intermediates for anyone that wants to come back and take it like.
And it's
to the
great for
next level.
cosplay and theater.
That is cool.
Theater
yeah,
people.
and it's great because you watch these. He takes a lot of video of these kids, and of course Joshua and other people get pictures, and these kids like they're good. By the end of it, like
tell him about him showing. Aaron. I love embarrassing Aaron because, like I said, Aaron, which I doubt you're listening, I do not care.
I love Aaron. Well, okay, I have 2 Aaron stories. One of them was him glomping me. I was on my way.
Like a terrible, sex position.
No.
I glomped him.
He glomped me.
I don't care.
Now I
don't care. I don't care.
No, glomping is when you run at someone and you jump and hug them. With you're fully clothed. It's there's nothing sexual about it.
Tia and I are like, okay.
Not fully
What is
clothed.
wrong with you?
Clomping. Like negotiations.
Yeah, neglompage.
Let's neglope this.
But no, I was on my way to an autograph signing, and I had gone the wrong way, and I'd actually walked by the line of people that were waiting, and it was a huge line. I had no idea it was going to be so big. I'm like, oh my god, this is wow.
What if they just pretended it was for you? It's for you.
and as if so a bunch of fangirls were like as if they weren't squeeing enough, which I love the sound of fangirl squee. It's fun.
Squee?
Squee. It's when they're like wee. Or sometimes literally squee. It's and
that's how I say hi to McFarlane now. I'm like,
we'll have to explain
chosen one.
Birdie, tiger.
Tiger.
You can now call me Betty, and
Betty.
your suit is black.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's from Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
That's a really
McFarlane made
who's-
Josh and Tatum watch it,
It's
and I'm like,
so
I've
funny.
seen it, but then I made him feel really old. I'm like, I was a senior in high school when this came out, and he's like, oh my god.
Yeah, anyone who's in the industry should watch Kung Pao because it's basically it's an old kung fu movie. And,
Most of
there's a
it's
lot
a
of
com-
blue screen
like, yeah.
stuff. Like the guy in it is like really in it, but it's like blue screen stuff,
that's
and it's
bad.
And he
but
superimposed
but
his
they've
face.
overdubbed
Yeah.
it like a bad dub, and it's really
He does
really
like
funny.
most of the voices, including like the lead female. So like you'd be like, Master, blah blah blah, and then like the chick comes out and says,
Master.
Yeah, whenever there's like an extra flap that apparently they don't, quote unquote, know how to fill, they'll just make her make weird noises. So she'll be like, "Hello, Master," and there's whole moments where like they just feel like Adrian flaps. So,
But then
And
like
it's
he'll
funny.
overdo.
If you ladies are done hugging, I've got some ass
If you
kicking
guys
to
are
do.
done kissing.
Yeah. It's a very
McFarlane
funny
does it
movie,
best.
but anyway, totally on topic.
Tangent, sorry.
But no, it's okay. So Aaron glomps me in front of all these fangirls, and like
never gonna
Aaron,
be able to say glomp again.
No, I'm not. Aaron basically ran like from I hadn't seen him the whole weekend because our schedules had just not coincided, and he didn't get there till Friday because
Yeah.
he still has like school and stuff, and so they didn't get there
Where's
till
that
Friday
gonna
night
be?
or something. I'm like, what? And so Saturday, I'm on my way to this autograph signing panel, and I pass by this huge group of fans that are, waiting for me. As it turns out, I'm like, oh wow, hi, and they're all kind of, hey, come over and say hi to them. So I'm talking to them, and suddenly I hear this, Tatum, and I turn and look, and here's Aaron, who's taller than me, which is freaking weird.
He has grown at least 2
He
inches
is
in height
weird.
since
I don't know what they're feeding that kid.
last year, since
It's
when I first met him
crazy.
doing Sakaguchi and Big Wind-Up.
They're giving him like Miracle Grow or something. It's
It's
impossible.
no, like these kids today, and God, that made me sound old.
These kids today.
Kids today, when I was your age, we had a PlayStation 1. We just called it PlayStation. And we liked it.
We had Nintendo.
But played Mortal Kombat 3, and we thought that was
Cutting
top of the
edge.
line. Yeah. But, and we had Game Boys, and we had them for nostalgic purposes. Not DS's.
I had a Pac-Man watch. Shut up.
Simpsons. But no, like all the kids around Aaron's age, like they seem very trim. I'm like, what the hell? Like, did they kill all the fat kids? Because I was a fat kid. Like, but like seriously, like where?
No, it's a
they're
recessive
hiding in
gene. It's a recessive gene. Like the next generation of kids, they'll all be short and like 300 pounds by the time
Well,
they're
my
8.
mom's 5'8". My dad was like 5'11". I'm 6 feet tall.
I'm the tall one of my family.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'3". My dad is 6 foot,
Dang.
and my mom is 5'4". But my brother is like 6 foot, and he's like 135 pounds. So I know, right? He keeps 5 boxes, I'm not even kidding, of oatmeal cream cookies next to his bed every night, which he has.
He like sleep eats.
Yes, he does, and it's not fair.
My brother is the same way. Like he just had. Oh, he didn't have it. His significant other did. A kid. He did. I mean, we'd be in the paper for that. But and he's like eating, like new parents do. Just like, oh my god, the kid's asleep. And
Stockpile.
and he's still just like
Yes.
little stick. He is the exact same frame as Aaron, which really pisses me off. You'll never meet my brother because, well, I don't like him very much. But just the exact same look, except he's Mexican. He's a Mexican Aaron that I don't like.
I want that gene. I want to be able to be that trim and still be as tall as I
See,
am.
but I think like it would be like, like if you rubbed like a lamp and you're like, I don't want to be fat anymore. They're like, fine, but you don't get boobs anymore. Like, wait.
This works fine for me. I don't want boobs either.
You don't have
Girls
boobs.
need those.
I don't have boobs.
How else
but
am I supposed to get into clubs? How am I supposed to,
I think even if you
convince
rub the
them that
lamp-
me being $2
Sweetie,
short?
I'm sorry. I don't. We talk about this. We talk about your rack. It seems every episode, but I
You
mean,
told us it was going to be a running thing.
it is going to be a running theme. but
I don't mean to do it.
Even if you rubbed a lamp and got a wish, I don't think there's anything the genie could do about those. I
He's like,
really don't think that.
my
he'd be like,
powers.
are you going to lose all your? All right. Well, we can make
Well, no,
you
even
slim.
Steven-
We can make you as slim as Aaron Disney, but you're going to be kind of top heavy.
Maybe like the feeder bird up.
You may want to get some moon boots or something and Just walk around
No,
in skis.
Monica even said something this week. I hadn't seen her. I don't get to see Monica that often. She was like my first like girlfriend up at Funimation. Friend that is a girl.
Go on.
Yeah. Well, we had been on a date, like, but I totally just left after she bought me.
He's
Like, I'm done. Excuse me. I will see you at work tomorrow. Bye.
This is how rumors get started.
But Jamie Markey and I totally did it.
I'm not even going to start this discussion.
But no, like I saw Monica, and Monica comes like to my shoulders, so I hugged her. She goes, "I love that your breasts are the first thing that hit me when you hug me." It's like Terri breast. Oh, hey, here comes Terri.
They are substantial.
No, Victoria's Secret's just really good to me. And they're like,
Whatever.
wow, I'm gonna make my commission this month. Hi, do you have it? Like, just come this way. Come.
So there was another Aaron story I was going to tell you about.
Oh, no.
There
It was because of Chris Ayres.
Okay. So backtracking. So Chris Ayres filmed some of his intermediate mock combat panel. And there were these two really cute girls, in really, really awesome cosplay. I forget now what they were.
Reminder, Aaron is 17.
And Aaron is 17. So that should tell you everything you need to know. But,
absolutely
everything you need. He's a 17-year-old hormonal kid who's, 7'5".
He's like 6'4" now.
He's 6'4". He's taller than me. He's like 6'4".
I took him to lunch once, and he couldn't fit in the passenger side, and that's with the seat all the way back.
Dude, stop drinking that.
Like his knees, knees were like up, just crazy.
But it was funny that Chris Ayres had taken video of these two really cute girls mock fighting, and they were rolling
just for the fighting.
Just for the fighting, yeah, totally. He was taking video of everybody, but these girls just happened to be like among the best in the class or in the workshop, and they're rolling around on the floor and they're pulling each other's hair, they're fake strangling each other, and it looks great. I mean, it's good. And he shows this to Aaron later on at the con when the two of them had an autograph signing table together, and Aaron was just sitting there speechless, looking at this video, going, "Wow, that's wow." Wow. Chris is like very quickly takes it away from him. He's like, "Okay, just sign your stuff and stop looking at this."
See, that's the weird thing is because I do treat Aaron like a brother.
As do I.
I really try to, but occasionally he makes it like that. Just a reminder, I'm a 17-year-old kid. And we're like, huh? But we were doing a commentary the other day, and I put my foot in my mouth. It was my first commentary ever. I obviously can't tell you for what show, but
yeah, you can.
Aaron knows how to get his way without like flat out saying like, "Hey, you're gonna do this." So a good chunk of us recording the show was him like going like, "Oh, man, I'm so hungry." Blah, blah, blah. Where are we going for dinner? And I'm like, what? I brought my lunch. She's like, no, we're going to go out. And stuff like that. So instead of saying it the way I said it to you guys, I went, man, I spend like 8 hours a day, like at least 5 days a contract working with you. And man, you really know how to work me. And
you just had to use those.
You know how to work me, and then Aaron got really red, and I didn't think about it until my engineer started like, and then Lucy just kind of went like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." So my engineer put it on a loop. It's like, you know how to work me. 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 No, I'm saying it now, so I'll tell you guys now.
Now you listen to it.
I'm talking about food. I'm talking. Well, no, that sounds worse.
So Tia
Ballard.
Don't piss off on me.
Let's focus on our
you go
guest,
by Tia Ballard and Tia Lynn. Do you have a preference?
Either one. I don't have a middle name really. My name is Tia Lynn. Mm-hmm. I go by Tia really.
Interesting. Yes. I'm gonna call you Tia Lynn.
Oh, I like that. I used to call, in 5th grade, I used to tell people my last name was Ballard, so I'd sound French.
Ballard.
I do that with my middle name.
I'm going to call you Tablespoon. Can I call you Tablespoon?
Yes, please.
That's my nickname.
Do it.
Or TLB.
TLB.
Talaba. That's Tia Ballard, really quick.
Tia
Ballard. Tia Ballard.
And mine is jumped.
Mine's TJD. It sounds like oh, you have TJD.
Yours sounds like someone tripping.
Me? No, that is my sound effect. No, but then I'm thinking about going Hoff later. No, I actually
postponed it.
I actually postponed it because everybody at work's like, Doty-Hoff. I'm like, what the? I'm like, no, you should be Doty-Hoff. It's Terri Doty-Hoff. I'm like,
it's Terri Doty-Hoff. It's Terri Doty-Hoff. She's giving me the look.
Tia Ballard.
So Tablespoon.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself.
Old Tablespoon.
Well,
That's a
you
pretty
know what? The
opening
first
question.
time I met you, it was outside of Funimation, and you said, "What are you about? What are you about?" And I've never heard that before. And it's
Did I say that?
That
doesn't sound like
Drug dealer. What you about?
No, it
What are
was
you
Chris.
about?
It
What
was
are you
Chris
doing?
George that
You
introduced
sure
us.
that wasn't Troy Baker?
No, it was you. It was you. And you're like, because we were about to do auditions for Ren, and you were like, "You're gonna audition for me next week." So what are you about? And I'm like,
Well,
what are you supposed to say? How do you answer that question?
What are you
about?
about? Life.
Me?
I was testing you.
What?
I was testing you. And you won, apparently. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
We met several times before we actually met, but you never went, what are you about?
What are you about?
What you about?
You intimidated
You said it twice. What are you about? What are you
intimidated
about?
you?
What are you about? What are you about?
Like, what?
No, I met you.
I forgot
And I
about
remember
that.
I was like,
I choose
this?
to believe that story is apocryphal. I don't know. It
I
sound like something I would do.
Sweetie, there are times where you're just like, I wouldn't have done that. And they're like, well, regardless of whether or not you think you can do that.
You did do it.
You did it. You hit my grandma.
I would totally own that, though. I would own that to that. I hit your grandma, by the way.
And go, yeah, well, your grandma's a bitch.
She went down like a tree. It was crazy.
Like a sack of potatoes, 10-pound bag, just No, I was doing Big Wind Up at the time. It all goes back to Big Wind Up for me. But Monica was in because I had her. I just randomly cast her as Mihashi's cousin, Ruri, I think. I went, well, I need girls for a Walla, and being that I've been doing Big Wind Up for ever.
All boys.
I don't really know women that aren't already in the show somehow, or that I just don't feel like have time to do like Walla like right at the moment. And she's like, "Oh, Tia." I'm like, "You act like I'm like, oh, I know her. I don't know her." And she's like, "Well, just trust me. Just call in Tia." And I was like,
I heard a lot of good things about you, too, actually, before I had a chance to hear you.
I brought you in just
really
off
cool.
Monica's recommendation.
A lot of people I don't get to know until I've heard their stuff, just because it's just kind of the way it works out. Like I knew Joel as a director, I didn't know him as a voice actor until I heard him in Bakano, and it just happened to be. I'm like, oh my god, this is great! But I'd heard your name from just about everybody at some point so I was like, well, let's get her into and that and the fact that you actually
said it all defeated.
Well, let's do this. I was threatened by you see, which is
yeah, of course.
like,
because
oh,
we're
no,
in such
she's
competition with our
I was
voices. We have like
gonna,
the same.
She's going to corner the market on my niche, and this is why I came up to her. She's neglecting
She
that.
like stood up and went, "So you're J. Michael Tatum?"
I was like, yeah, I
watch it, bitch.
So what she's neglecting to remember is that we met outside Funimation. I actually kind of came up to her and like cornered her and I'm like, "What are you all about?"
Well, yeah. What are you about?
What are you about?
And
I'm making it what you about.
And then of course, you came and auditioned for Ren, which was a very select group of people who came to do that because
even when they came
only...
in, like I guess not all of them got the memo that they're like, "Hey, there's boobies and stuff."
I think everybody got the memo. I think some people just didn't realize how serious to take it. They were like, "Oh, well, sure, it's just like whatever." But
surely they mean
no.
just like some grunting and
like no
a cutaway.
Yeah, I
we
remember
mean
when I
some
first came
serious
in for
R-rated
Ren
stuff.
and Terri.
It was me.
Yeah.
Yep,
I walked
yep.
in and you were like, I walked into the booth, put my headphones on. You're like, well, you're doing a sex scene today, and I was like, okay, let's do this.
It was my first time really because you did such hilarious little things on Big Wind Up.
I remember it.
And I'm just
You're
like,
making fun of me.
No, because I'm just like, oh my god, that is and Joe like heart eyes, and he's just like, ah. Well, which is with any lady, because Joe's just like, I love them all. I just, or in his Joe voice, just she's pretty. Mm-hmm. But that's a good Joe, yeah. But
that's a terrible Joe.
Well, no, really, Joe is just like the.
Joe is just like,
whatever.
It's the head bobbing. It's everything's in the head bobbing.
You didn't intentionally cast me or give me the.
I accidentally cast you. What is
the staff credits. I wasn't supposed to be an assistant director. It's just you were doing Spice and Wolf at the exact same time.
I'd done the first 3 episodes of Rin, and then when the second 3 episodes,
I directed.
Yeah, you did a little bit of that too, didn't you? But especially on the last 3 episodes, and because that was when Spice and Wolf, they were like, "Hey, we're doing the rest of this. Get over there," and it was recording at night too. I'm like, "Okay, well." Terry, take the reins of Spice and Wolf for me at least 3 nights a week,
Rin.
if you would, or what?
Rin. You said Spice and Wolf.
Yeah, no, because I was on Spice and Wolf.
No, you said take the reins on Spice and Wolf.
Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Play it back now. Right?
That doesn't sound like something I would have done.
No, it was like I met you in the chair, because I forget a lot of actors actually wait in the lobby where they're supposed to, instead of just like, hey, you guys done yet? Which I don't mind, but I'm so used to the hey, you ready for me? And I'm like, oh, she's, for the first 10 minutes, it's like, where the hell is she?
Because of the sign on the door, you see.
Well, no one read that sign.
Like, no one. That was like, we might as well put a welcome mat outdoors.
No,
like, everyone's like, what's going on here? We'll get back to
that, but, and I'm like, just so you know, like Tatum told you, or someone told you that it's very heavy sex, especially who you're playing, and you're like, yeah. Let's go. Like, I don't know why you're stalling. Let's go. Like, yeah, you said it just like that, like, get in the booth. But then it was like, okay, that's great. We're going to do about 8 other passes.
Oh, yes.
Of the same scene. No, and it was when we were recording that the head of the company tried to...
I remember that!
The head of the company...
Well, they were giving a tour that day, weren't they?
We had a sign on the door for Rin that's like, blah, 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 knock first, and even then, wait for us to answer the door. And... nobody really read it. There was at a point where I was recording my stuff, and Trina opened the door, and Tatum's like...
Poor Trina, I scared her so badly. Because she just came and she's like, hey, you're not Bevins. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And there's a sign on the door. Get back. We're doing something really gross. And she's like, no, like, Gen didn't knock or anything. And he just opened the door, and I went and slammed the door, and then opened it back up, and I went, can I help you? And he went, you guys recording right now? And I went, yeah, we are. And I feel like such an ass. But it's because we were doing...
I was sitting there with my metaphorical leg spread. I mean, you can't relate.
Your metaphorical legs spread. I love that.
But...
you're not a method actor in the booth, so it was only your metaphorical legs. So as long as we're clear.
You know what? Right now is not the perfect time to be around my brain. But I slammed the door and then opened it back up, and well, I have a group. Do you mind? And I went, yeah, I actually do. And he went, what's that? And I pointed at the sign, and I knew who it was. But it's
what can you do? I mean, it's like you're like, this is not the studio.
But it's because he didn't knock, and I was really expecting one time Cynthia Kranz actually just opened up the door just to say hi to Wendy, and I went, Cynthia, you were one of my leads in Big Windup. I know you can read. And she's just like, I'm so sorry. And then she texts me later, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you should be. No, but no. And I pointed at the sign. I'm like, no, we're doing a sex scene right now. And he's like, really? And I went, yeah. I'm not lying. Yeah, we're not doing Big Windup, and I'm just lying to you.
The big sex scene in Big Windup.
Yeah. Well, there was a naked scene. 26.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, no. So that I'm like, what a great way to start it. But your character was awesome, and Patrick, who you play a lot off of, he plays Teriyuki.
Yes.
Your plaything, your human plaything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really neat. Patrick W. Reed. You sound like you should be a lawyer.
It was really relaxing to do all those sex scenes. It chills you out. You walk out of the booth, I just I need a cigarette or something. It just like feels so good.
Well,
After
it's a good
like,
performance too, because I mean, she's not just a sex pot. I mean, of course, that we first see the character.
She's a little cybo.
You're crazy. She's nuts, and I love that, especially that because I think Terri and I both had a chance to direct you, which is awesome.
I directed you up until like the airplane thing, but then you guys even went back and did a lot of stuff because you're like, Terri did this.
No, actually, we didn't go back and really do much of anything. Everything you got I thought was perfect. So we just focused on the scene in the airplane. When she's going on about, how she.
It's my baby.
This is my baby, and there's Teriyuki on the slab with the mask on, going, and we're like, oh, this is a fun scene, but no, you really gave that hell, which was fun because a lot of working on a show like that is really interesting because I've been asked before, like, was it really intense working on that? Yeah, I've been asked a couple times. And I'm like,
I really wish that I could have heard
some
of the questions that you've gotten,
Well, it's funny. I mean, because I've been asked several times, like, how intense or how crazy was it to work on Ren? And I got to say, it really wasn't. And it's because of actors like yourself that were just, like, coming in. Because there were really two kinds of actors that were prepared for this. There were those that knew they were not going to be comfortable with the material, and so they didn't bother to audition.
Yeah,
which is more power to them. I totally understand that. Some of them have, I can't do
I
this
can
thing.
see their perspective.
Yeah,
Me,
totally.
I just never had a problem with it.
Yeah, and
my mom almost like bought it. I'm like, don't do it.
And there are other actors, i.e. the ones that wound up being in it, who were totally at home in the material and had no problem with going there. Because I mean, it's a raunchy show. And but it was great. So I ended up having actors that were so comfortable with doing it that it was never really. It wasn't pulling teeth with anybody.
There were a couple of. I mean, because I'm not gonna lie. There are a few actors, and you even mentioned in the commentary for episode 2 that there were a few actors that went by pseudonyms.
Oh yeah, a few.
And there was one, it was really awkward because I could tell she was uncomfortable. But not only that is, I felt like a porn director. Because I was like, that was good. And I looked at Joe and I'm like, don't look at me. Now, that was good, but you're really making love here. And she's like,
more
yeah.
O-face.
Yeah, no, she went, yeah. And I went, no, you don't understand. Yeah. Kind of. What I said is, no, you don't understand. I don't want you to make love. You're fucking. And she went, is there a difference? And I went, yeah. And Joe's just like, this is so awkward. And she's like, okay. And I'm just like, just get mad.
Get angry.
And we got it. But,
so what was it like for you working on something like
really,
that? I mean,
well, because you mentioned when it got released. Because I made sure I'm like, that one scene,
right.
It's up on the site.
Well, I remember you and I, Tatum, discussing if I should go by my real name or my fake name. And we were actually playing around making up cool names. They actually turned out pretty lame. But
well, they all sounded like porn star names. By the end of it, we're like Chelsea Chess Piece or something. I mean, it was crazy. We're like, I'm like, you sure you just don't want to go by your normal name? Because I really thought it was something you should be proud of because it was a good performance.
Well, because I just started.
You were already playing against type. I guess of what you're already, because you're still very new. Like, you're not playing the cute, sweet girl.
That's right. And I just started in February, and, that was a big choice for so early in my career, I guess. Less than, this weekend was probably a year. So, yay! Happy anniversary to me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But so I had to do a lot of talking with my family and just a lot of thinking about it and praying about it. And I realized, and my dad was so cool about it. But when we watched it, it was very weird, very awkward.
Did you guys watch it together?
You watched it with your family?
I had to show them because,
There's no way. You could not pay me.
I could not. I could never show that to my parents. Like, my dad.
No, we
didn't watch the whole shaboodle, but we did, caboodle. But we did watch my parts. And I was sitting there with my brother, and I was like, okay, that's it. That's all my sex. And my brother's like, thank God. But, my my dad was so cool about it because, you know, I really respect his opinion, you know, and basically he was like, you know, you paid thousands of dollars to go to school to learn to do this. If you can't do it, it's not real. You're acting, and if you can't do it and be relaxed about it, then you have no business in it, because that is your job. That's your responsibility, is to take that into on a mature level, and not like there's a difference between, oh my gosh, I'm in a sex scene, it's 3rd grade and we're giggling in the lockers about it, and taking it as,
where did you go to school?
I don't know, but there's a difference between that and
Mrs. Eldridge's 3rd grade class is doing picnic.
Oh, Principal Jameson.
But like, it's different.
The glass menagerie.
It's different when you do it in a respectable way, knowing it's a character you're playing, knowing that I'm not having sex up here. Yeah. My character is, and she's doing it for her reasons. And, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, being a theater major is freaking expensive and takes a lot of time and it's really stressful. So you better believe it that I'm going to be proud of everything that I do. And so I feel like I made the right choice, and I'm very happy that I did it.
Well, we have a biased opinion.
we have a biased opinion. I mean, I think
I don't
really,
know.
really
now looking back on it, don't you regret it?
No.
And it's really, I mean, the show has gotten really, really good reviews. And
I'm so
I think what's
freaking
awesome
psyched.
about it is
that's where most of my friend requests have come from. I'm very happy about it.
Well, I've gotten more props as a director on that show than I've gotten for anything I've worked on.
It's a beautiful show.
That I really think
it's a good,
it's gorgeous.
Solid,
I mean, it's beautiful.
show.
No disrespect to R&J. I mean, you and I were talking about this
R&J.
last night while we were
drinking
entirely too many gin and tonics, and you should have been writing.
It was cold outside.
That dehydrates.
Whatever.
But you're the smart one.
Who told you that?
You did.
Oh.
But,
I must have been drinking.
But, you know, R&J, no disrespect to it, but one, it's something that, you know, for me, I think it's something that I think is one of your best works as an actor, let alone as a director.
Thank you.
But at the same time, you were too comfortable in it, I think.
I think, well, R&J that's a very good way of putting it, because R&J really wasn't big of a challenge for me. And that isn't me being arrogant. That's me just saying everything was so perfect about that show before I even sat down to touch it that all I really had to do was not screw it up. Because you had these scripts coming from Talis and Jaffe's team, which were absolutely flawless. I mean, they were the best scripts I have ever seen.
That's a great thing to intern on.
Period,
it's also a different style of writing.
My job was done once the casting was over. You know, and the casting was a grueling process. We've talked about that a little bit elsewhere. But once that was done, all I had to do was just kind of remind people, oh, by the way, this is what happens. I mean, like, really, I didn't feel that. But I mean, it's a testament to everyone else on that show how little work I had to do as a director to make it sound the way it did. Really, but Rin was much more challenging because it was so. Because it was I say it was challenging. It was fun.
It was new
because getting to go there, that was the first time I've gotten to work on a project that was that dark and that surreal, and especially by the end, last 2 episodes, they get really out there, and I love that kind of stuff. It kind of typifies everything I love about the more TVMA anime, and I love it, and I love the little technological touches. You know, each you know, every time we hit a new time period, you know, they compensate or they address the technology of the time, which I thought was really cleverly
big
done.
Thing about it being about immortals, which I loved, because it's always like a big thing that I've become accustomed to is I'm a big, just cinema freak. Like, you know me, I can link people really freaking quick.
She's the human
no matter
IMDb.
what. It's really weird. Like, Aaron will be like, oh yeah, link Travis Willingham and Christopher Walken, go. And I'm just like, fine. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, oh my God.
She's done this. It's crazy.
But, yeah. And
the room is a lot more challenging because there's a lot of, for me, and just on a purely visceral level, the sex in that show does nothing for me. I mean, my own what I think is hot is not get addressed in that show.
But nothing was love about the sex scenes in that. It was all it was supposed to kind of be disgusting in a way.
Well, the sex in that show is political. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all doing it to either get information or it's a statement of some kind or another. There's no love making really in that show, except arguably in like one or two scenes.
I'd say probably the second scene with me and Jamie, because
that scene, there's a little tinged with Jamie's character is not quite willing to admit
bored.
that you have in a relationship. I think, but I think there's the scene between Colleen's character Rin and the character I played. That starts that. Well, they don't get very far, but that's a bit of a love scene, and because they're in love with each other. And then there's the scene between Rin and God, I can't remember the character's name now, but the mysterious caller.
Taji Momori.
Taji Momori. Thank you. Where they're definitely making love, and it's wonderful because it's such a contrast to the rest of the show, where sex is so much just part of what you have to do to get by, and so much like people, even Tia's character, is really she's using her sexuality to get what she wants. I mean, she's doing it literally to survive in this sort of cyber existence, and
even though
it's kind of crazy.
It's such a weird character because it's based off of. I forget who's actually who that episode's actually based off of. But what I love about Rent, what I was getting on before I went off on another tangent, because I'm just so happy to be recording and be comfortable and all that stuff, and being able to cuss is fucking great.
I've noticed. I'll have to work on a shit or two in there.
Well, you can wait for a break. And no, what I was saying is the great thing about Rin was that. Unlike most shows where it's like, I'm an immortal, but this is kind of taking place in real time. It's like every episode was a different year. So the first episode's 1990, second episode's 91, third episode's 20 years later, and then another, or like 10, 15 years later, and then the fourth episode's 20 years later. Just it never stopped.
We have some questions we'll have to ask.
We have some questions.
Some really good questions, too.
Okay, Tia.
We've got some questions for you.
What?
No.
This is all about you now.
It is about
We're
you.
focusing on you.
Crap.
The light comes on.
Well, we've got questions for all of us.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll grill everybody, and we'll make each other ask questions. We'll make you ask us a question.
Yeah, totally.
There you go.
Put us on the spot.
Okay, this is from Jack. Shockingly, because Jack Cox is not a fan of yours.
No, not at all.
He's not a fan of any of ours. None of us are friends with this man. What is your favorite Nintendo video game?
Me?
Yes.
That would have to be...
No, it's not to me.
Well, you were looking at me, I guess it's to me. Paper Mario off of Nintendo 64. Shut up.
No. What's weird is I'm like, haven't we had this conversation?
Have we?
It seems like we have, but Paper Mario.
Yes.
Paper Mario?
I don't even know what that means.
Paper Mario is a Mario game where he lives in the world of paper, it's an RPG game, and it was the first RPG I ever played where you're actually going through. It's the first Mario game where you actually get to go through the world, and you get to talk to the little toads all around. I don't know if you're familiar with Mario, but
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not familiar with this game, but Mario.
The
You
Mario
get to
universe,
actually
yeah.
talk, and everybody's got personalities, and personality of Princess Peach gets to come out, and I don't know why I did that.
Princess Peach.
That was really
Is that
cute.
her name?
Princess Peach?
Yeah, Princess
Princess Toadstool?
I've just referred to her as Toadstool. Princess Toadstool.
Princess Peach Toadstool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Princess Peach.
Dude, whatever. Mario,
God.
Luigi
and
Mario.
I'm really...
Whatever.
Bob Hoskins. And John Leguizamo.
I had the biggest crush on John Leguizamo because of that movie.
I did until I learned that they both hated that show and they were drunk the entire time.
I think that's what makes their performance. Hey, let's face it.
It's like the writers were drunk.
Daisy!
I mean, come on. Dennis Hopper was born to play King Koopa. I mean, come on, really.
Steve Fisher is one of like the ones that get evolved.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
They're just like,
I gotta go home and watch that.
I had so many years. I need to go and watch it too because that is such a great,
evolved
bad movie.
Crustaceous. Advanced.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Dude, or no, I totally love that movie. Yeah, but
We
the
gotta
game,
get together and watch that movie now
Come on.
because a Mario mixer is what we need.
a Mario mixer. Dude, we could all dress like our favorite character. I'll just come as a
Sweet.
turtle. Turtle.
I'm being Koopa. I'm going to play Koopa.
You should.
I was
You
rooting for the bad
should.
guys. I don't know why. Well, because if there weren't a bad guy, you would have no story. It would
know
just
what?
be like,
King
they lived
Koopa-
happily ever after with no problems or complications whatsoever, the end. That's not a
If we ever
story.
get a
That's a
backstory,
Hallmark
unless
story.
he just a douche.
I love Mario just because of that reason. It's not just I really love Mario. It's
I gotta
It's
play.
just
I gotta.
I'm
Okay,
obsessed with
now you're
Mario.
saying this. I have totally got to kick your ass on
What?
like Mario Kart
Whatever.
because Mario Kart. I'm good at Mario Kart.
Which-
That's like the one video game I am.
Yeah, we'll
worth a
see.
damn
Well,
at.
we'll
it's,
see.
It's really. Oh! Look at that! It's on now. Okay, man. That's
See,
it.
now the smack's real. Not
We're
like
gonna be
the-
like, boom.
What are you about? What you about?
What are you about? What are you about?
But Mario's one of those games
go
that
manual,
if
do you
you
go automatic?
actually sit down and play it, every character has their own personality and their own wants and their own hate. Like, King Koopa is not just out to be evil. He's out there trying to get Princess Peach. He loves Princess Peach. He's got this passion for her. And if you play Paper Mario, that comes out. And that was the first time I ever got to see that come out of a character. Just that, those wants and desires. And it's fascinating, and I love it.
You want to make me play it now?
It's great.
I'm
Tatum's
sold.
turn to ask a question.
I'm going to ask another Tia question because there's another Tia question on there.
Tia.
I've got that my whole life. Thanks.
Well,
Oh wow! You really think we're all original? And
Okay,
you're like,
well, no.
guys.
Tatum gets potato products, and I get pretty much
potato.
any word that's got Terry in it. Terrible.
I have
Terry
never
Blake,
called you anything
Terry
with Terry in it.
Dactyl, Terry Cloth, Secretary,
that's a
Doty
good one.
Bird. Doty Bird, which is weird because
Doty
that's
Bird,
we
that's not
learned
even-
we
that's-
learned
they're not
that
even
year in the
trying.
4th grade that the dodo bird
Dodo and Doty?
so Dodo and Doty, and I'm
That's-
like, oh, you were
that's
so
stretching
clever.
it. That's
Yeah.
stretching it.
I have a terrible one that I've only told Steven because it is that good. Like, it rhymes with Terri Doty. We'll never say it.
I don't want to know. What
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
they called me it in college.
My favorite is Kent Williams, who calls me his baked potato. That's my
Well,
favorite.
also because
I'm like,
Kent Williams,
I love
it
Kent.
really helps that Kent's a very attractive man. Where you're like,
And he's
you
got a
can
great
call me
voice, and
whatever
he's
you
like,
want.
"Hey there, baked potato." I'm like, he just.
You're like,
All right, so I have this. Look, I have to hold it out so I can see it. I'm blind.
It's dark in
Let's see.
here.
Okay,
Really
this is
dark.
a question.
pretty sexy
This
in
is from
all naked.
this is from Tara. This
Tara?
is
Caraway.
Oh.
Caraway. Tara Caraway.
Hi, Tara.
Caraway.
Jackie's
Tara
sister.
Caraway. Oh, cool. So she's related to Jackie. Oh,
Yeah, no,
our
I'm
caller
telling
from
you,
another
like, if
show.
you're a friend on Facebook,
Awesome.
I will know you. know you.
So this is to Tia from Tara. Okay, and it is. Do you really work at Disney? If so, what do you do?
Is that something you can talk about?
Can you
Well-
talk about that?
Well, I can.
We can beep it out later.
Or is this like is this something we have to edit?
Well, no. Okay. I was actually on the Disney College program in fall of 2006. It's actually where I realized I wanted to become a voice actor. Oddly enough, and I can't talk about all of it, but I can talk about the stuff I can talk about. And
talk about
Political
that.
answer.
You should talk about that.
well,
Talk
okay.
about that. Yes.
Okay, while I was there, if you ever go to Disney World, you have to ride Splash Mountain because that's my stomping ground.
Tia Ballard was here.
Exactly.
It's like graffiti all over the mountain.
So yeah, Splash Mountain. I worked on Splash Mountain. I did a lot of parades and cool stuff like that. And I got all these awards for like most pixie dust. I don't know why.
You with the most pixie dust?
And a bunch of other stuff I can't talk about. But yes, if you
a
get
lot of people. I mean, it's a cool experience. If
oh my goodness, if you get a chance to, not if you're older. I mean, that's obviously. But if if you've never been away from your parents, that was the first time I ever got away from home. You know,
you had to live there.
Yeah, you live. They give you like gated apartments, and it's all.
How long did you live there?
Just a semester. Yeah, and
Wow, how cool is that?
oh, it was freaking awesome.
They came to our college. Like,
And-
I almost did it just to get
It
out of my mom's
changed-
house.
It's no, you should. It's
That's like because that's like literally running away to join the circus. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
every kid's
exactly.
dream.
Yeah, but then they go, okay, no. You're done.
and I'm not trying to pimp the college program or whatever because you are a peon there, you know, when you get all the late hours and stuff, but it changed my life literally. It made me realize that whatever I wanted to do in life, I could actually do it. I don't have to answer to anybody if I'm over 21, you know what I mean?
I'm my own
It's
person
my
now.
first time away, and I had to stand up to my family to go, so it was so great. Not because I get to be a little But just the fact that I learned so much about myself because I was by myself. So.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Of like all the places to come into your own, Splash Mountain has to be one of the best.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I know there are a few people that like I graduated with that's where like they've gone to Disney for like their honeymoon and stuff like that. Which I'm like, not me. But then again, I can't really talk. I had again zombie wedding.
Right.
So teach their own. But which the clown scared the crap out of Tatum. But
yeah, please say that a little more.
No. I'm saying
tell
is
everyone about my fear of
you
clowns.
take away the power.
No, they still scare the hell
All
out
right.
of me.
Well, okay. We're listening to the chats. We have a moderator that's giving us questions as we go on, and one they say like who it's from, and there are a couple for me and Tatum you can ask. So while you're looking over,
give us the business.
Okay.
Can we legally do that? That's
I've
got to change one note of it.
Okay. Get back to business, you guys.
Oh God.
All right.
There's
This is
that
from
tough-
Sarah
This is
to Tatum.
Oh, what?
motherfucker.
What is it like playing Scar?
Which is a great question because tonight
That's right. Tonight.
Full Metal
tonight,
Alchemist premieres
Full Metal
on
Alchemist
Cartoon
premieres.
Network.
I've never seen Full Metal. I know,
must.
Well, I've got
You
reason
must at some
because
point,
the
yeah.
first few episodes, every time I watch that show, I freaking cry, and I can't stand it because it breaks my
This
heart.
one, it's okay. Brotherhood, I don't know a lot about because, like, Steven worked on a big part of the OVAs and stuff. He did. He engineered most of the OVAs with McFarland, and that's McFarland's show.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's really hard for him to let
That is
anyone
his
else direct
baby.
that. But Brotherhood, if I'm correct, is like a lot of fans, because I was reading like the comments from the funny panel that they did where McFarlane referred to it as a retelling. And really,
I think I refer to it as a retelling.
it's
and
the
they were like,
original. It's from
actually
the manga.
Yeah, it's closer. It's not a retelling of the. It's closer to the manga, whereas I think the original one took a great deal, went a different direction, and took a lot of liberties with it. Man, it just be its own thing. And the original one is great. I'm a big fan of the original.
Were you scared?
I was terrified because
that you're not the first person to play Scar.
No, I'm not. And the thing about Full Metal is that it has a huge, very passionate fan base. And for very good reason. It's a great show, and it's one of the best dubs, I think, out there. It's really up there in probably my top 5 favorite dubs that I've ever seen done in anime. Up there with a handful of others. Things that I'm not involved with. Like, I don't count anything I've worked on as as a great dub because that's kind of self-serving. But like, well, I directed that, so that's the best dub ever. But
I don't ever. It just
my
so happens that
my
Big
5
Wine
favorites of shows that I've not directed or been involved with, except peripherally or something like that. Full Metal is peripheral. Full Metal Alchemist is up there. It's a fantastic dub. It really is amazing. It's great storytelling, and it's you can tell they all care about it, and it really made the careers of several people that were involved in it. It really was a springboard for several very talented people that have gone on to do great
Vic already
things.
done a lot of things.
Oh, Vic had done a lot of things before that, but I think that is certainly Aaron, obviously, but certainly, and I think Vic will tell you the same thing that getting to play Edward was probably his one of his most outstanding roles he's ever done, and one that he's very attached to with good reason. But yeah, getting to play a character that someone else has already played. I mean, we all do that to some extent because we're already playing characters that have been voiced in the Japanese. So we're already kind of, again, we're not competing
but to add on
with
top
them. But
of
to add on top of that, you have this very, very passionate fan base for whom Damian Clark, who played Scar in the first Full Metal Alchemist, the man did a tremendous job. I mean, I've watched his performance very, very closely, and we made a conscious decision to try to stay as true to that as we could without me trying to voice match him, because that would just frankly be an insult. And I'm not sure why he couldn't reprise it. I think he moved away or something, and he's no longer doing voice work, from what I understand. I do not know. Personally, I've never met the man, though I would very much like to, because I'm a fan, honestly.
Well, it's not the first show you've replaced him on.
No, there was another one. Yeah, there was Gunslinger Girl, the second.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's my favorite show in the world.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes! That's like my show! Oh my gosh. I gotta say this. You were so hot as Hillshire.
Wow. I'm very uncomfortable right now.
I want you I mean that in the most... I want you to be uncomfortable because I mean it in the most uncomfortable way.
That was... Wow. I'm going to put my sweater back on.
You should be a regular. Just like, hey Tatum, are you comfortable?
But so I guess I had some experience doing other characters that Damien had already voiced with Hillshire. Hillshire is very easy for me to do though, because he's a very straightforward. He's not an uninteresting character, but he's very laid back. He's very calm. He's not terribly emotional, except there's a couple of scenes where we see Hillshire get big. But Scar is very different. Scar is very, very new territory for me. And one, you have this incredible pressure of like, wow, I cannot by any stretch of the imagination even approach screwing this up, or I'm going to have people at my throats for good reason. I mean, like, I don't want to.
Nobody's heard you yet.
No one has heard me yet.
Are you even in the previews or anything?
I don't.
Have you watched any of them?
I don't think I'm in the previews, and I don't know that I don't know that he even shows up in the first episode. He might. I cannot remember now. But either way, it's a very different voice than I've ever done before, and it was fun playing him. And like I said, I thank God I had Mike to guide me, because, like I said, that is Mike's baby. He loves that show like nobody's business. I mean, he does.
Really
and you
does.
can tell, I mean, every utterance, every syllable out of every actor's mouth in that show and in the original is just, filled. You can tell.
He doesn't settle on a take.
No, not at all. And he is
I've never worked with him.
He's a taskmaster. I mean, he's the sweetest guy in the world, really. But man, when he's like, okay, you need to do this, and we'll he will get take after take to get it perfect. And so by the end, it's and Scar's voice wears me out. It's hard to do for any length of time. So he was very careful to make sure to only, like, thank God, schedule me for like 2 or 3 hours at a time.
I've never had a character like that. Yeah. I shudder to think, like, where you're just like, oh crap.
Yeah, he's intense, and I love the show, and just the overarching experience.
You did the OVAs.
Well, yeah, the there's like the chibi head party, but that's a little different.
Well, yeah, but I heard
because
he
has like 1 line or 2 lines or something, but Scar in Brotherhood, yeah, okay, it's the best part about it is because Full Metal, the original anime, was before my time as a voice actor, and I'm such a big fan of it that now getting to be part of it is kind of a fanboy dream come true, because I'm like, yay, I get to be part of the Full Metal Alchemist universe. I think before that,
like,
I think I was.
He's part of the
like,
well, you're not the only one that's reprising or not that's taking on the role.
That's
of
taking
someone
on a role
who,
that
I was on my anime list. Looking at people, because I love to look at fan comments and just be like, oh, harsh or aw, which is usually like, but
I try not to look at those.
I saw that I had one and I was like, sweet, nothing's on there other than like she was in Rin. I'm like, yes, I was. I was reading there's either you're for it or against it, the replacement of Al. And what really bothers me is people really have to understand Aaron just turned 17 years old. His voice is still getting deeper.
Oh, yeah. His voice is deeper. His voice is deeper than mine. And
you can't. Okay. There aren't many people that are that easy to work with, like Maxie Whitehead. Maxie is fantastic. She's taking over the role of Al. And I think she's at a con this week and actually promoting it.
Good. I see
Please don't kill Maxie.
I see many conventions in her future. Well, and I've had the opportunity, because I can tell you, there were a couple of times when I'd go in to record as Scar, and Mike would be so very proud of what he'd gotten out of Maxie. But yeah, and I would have the chance to see what she had recorded on a scene or two, and having seen some of that, of course, I can't say much about it, but I can tell you that I think she does great work.
I haven't heard anything of
It is a pleasure serving with her. Which many people will be very surprised to learn that it is a she. Because Maxie Whitehead is a girl, and she's a very cute girl.
What was it? It was during R&J or something. Somebody
Probably.
actually straight up thought Maxie was a boy.
But, well, she has the most realistic sounding boy voice, or certainly one of the most realistic boy voices I've ever heard. You know, when she gets in that range, it's amazing. And there, I think the fans will be very, very pleased. It's, you know, Aaron was awesome, but if someone else had to take up the torch, because Aaron is now 17 with a voice deeper than me.
And I mean, it doesn't mean that Aaron's by any means done.
Oh no, not at all.
I
And
mean,
Aaron's
just
now
heard
in
him
that.
in line barrels, and that's
Well,
great.
Aaron's now. Speaking of Aaron, is you know, just in general terms, he's now in a very different. He's in a very exciting phase in his career where there's actually probably more voices he can do now because he's got so much experience and he started so much younger. He's got the acting chops at 17 that most of us don't get until we're in our 20s. And now that his voice has gotten so low and you know, can hit those deep, you know, rich registers, we will hear Aaron, I'm sure, in a lot of things to come. By no means, Aaron is now entering that very exciting new vistas of his career. So I'm very excited to see what we'll hear from Aaron in future. Mm-hmm. But you know,
I've noticed, like on boards and stuff, some fans have hesitance towards somebody else taking that torch or whatever. But you got to realize that. Are you watching the show because of your love for the voice actor, or because your appreciation for the character, and you want the person,
Exactly.
the people who are doing it to pay respects to that character the best way that they know how? And sometimes that doesn't mean forcing the same person back into the role, because you've got to. Because the character is the most important part of the show.
Absolutely.
Good.
It's
Well put.
Thank you very much.
Well put, madam.
There are more questions on that paper.
Okay. Terry
Yeah.
Ooh.
from
Bring it.
Benjamin.
From Benjamin.
Yes. Since you lent your voice for Ren, do you think you'd like to do more voiceovers? If so, what kind of characters would you prefer?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I am doing, or I just got done doing one that I can't talk about. Like, well, so I don't know. There's this, I guess there's this idea that I can be like, hey, just so you know, tell them that I can do this, this, and this, and this. I don't really ever want to do that. Just be like, I can do this, because I want them to think she can do this, or we could see if she can do what she doesn't think she can do. So my big thing is I don't want to pigeonhole the crap out of myself. I mean, I can do that better than anybody in the biz, because I'm my own worst critic. I'm very, very self-deprecating.
You are very hard on yourself.
Very, 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 very. Well, if I expect the worst out of me, I can only be surprised if I don't.
That works?
For me, yeah. No,
You should write a book.
I used to refer to myself as an optimistic pessimist, and then my friend Sarah goes, "That's just called a realist, by the way." And I went, "Okay, I like that." But no, I liked who I played in Rin, but what's really funny is I had watched all of that before coming into audition, because pretty much anytime
Do your homework.
anytime anyone calls me in for an audition, I at least watch the first episode of the show, which a lot of people don't do. They're like, well, no, because then you'll have an idea. I'm like, no, I don't, because I want to be able to give those characters that I'm reading for, credit.
Right.
Instead of kind of going in very blind. And I mean, some people do it, some people don't, and I totally understand both sides of it. But me, I loved reading for Tatum because I'm very comfortable, but I'm also more hard on myself whenever I know the person that I'm auditioning for, which really sucks now because I know everybody there. Like the last audition that I did my homework for about a week prior to going in, and I was shaking afterward, like for the rest of the day. I wasn't nervous until after I did it. But I didn't want to, I love the characters, but you know, Tatum cast the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, yes! Like for every one of them. And then we were at dinner and he's like, well, you know, I was thinking about you for Informant 2. And I'm like, that's who I wanted to play. and you're like, how am I not shocked by that? I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. That's who I wanted to play. Because there's not a lot of pressure. And I get a sex scene.
You got a pretty good one, too.
2 of them, yeah.
2 of them, yeah.
But
you fly a helicopter.
I love that it's after I have a sex scene, and then I didn't realize I forgot about the helicopter scene, and I went, oh my god, I am so gay. And then Tatum goes, flying the helicopter makes you gay.
Yeah, that's what pushes it over the edge right there.
I'm like, okay, no, I didn't mean gay, I meant butch. But I think that it's going to be a while before I can explore my higher register. I'm still trying it. I've always been very good at dialects. I used to teach dialects in high school, namely Cockney, proper English, and Irish. Wow. Which was really just about repetition. And then I learned Scottish after dating a Scot. That's how that worked. But I became really annoying.
Like a Scottish person or just a dude named Scott?
Both. No,
Scott.
No, I forget his name. Does that tell you anything? But I was that annoying person where I'd replicate his voice like, just stop it, I'm serious. And I'm like, I know you're serious. And it's just, God damn. But no, for the most part, I'd like to play more. I want to be more of a badass, which I kind of get with this one. I'm playing Lady Macbeth. No. I don't know. No. I don't think any of us have the luxury of going, I would like to play blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And the director going, okay. I mean, unless you want to cast yourself, which is a double-edged sword.
It's hard to cast yourself.
We do it. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm in Big Wind-Up and I'm in Rent, but I didn't cast myself in Rent. There you go. But I will never, ever, ever, ever cast myself for something that I've made people audition for. Ever. But, because I just, unless someone's like, no, you should do that. I'm like, no, I don't want to. No. Like, well, that'd be great. But no, I don't have an idea of who I want to play next. If you want to cast me, that's fine. I totally don't see
myself. Like a true working actor. Yeah. I'm like, my next role will be whatever the director wants it to be.
I will play the crap out
That's
of
when I go into audition for Funimation a lot, because I'm still new, people will say, can you do this? Would you be comfortable doing this?
I don't know.
I will do anything you want me to do. I will try it.
That was exactly what you said to me when I was like, so Ren is kind of a dirty show. She's like, I'm fine with that. Whatever.
It's whatever.
Whatever. It is. I am on board with that. That is what I'm all about.
Well, there are some actors that I guess, luckily we were able to warn people and be like, hey, Tara, before you ask anybody in, be sure to remind them. They are going to... The Wallas on those shows...
Oh my goodness.
Those were the most awkward Walla sessions I've ever
There was at one
had
point, I did the bits first, for the women, and I was recording... I forget who I was recording, but Wendy was in the Walla. And Wendy is my boss. She's Informant 1.
Yep.
And I have a special love for Wendy because Wendy was just, Wendy and I met at a birthday party. And she sat me down. She's like, one day you're going to be my boss. And blah, blah, blah. And then a few months later, she's like, you're my boss now. I'm like, that's great. Shut up. Please shut up. We are trying to record. But no, and I said it jokingly and then smacked her around a little bit. No, but I went, hey, can you go out in the hall for a second? Because I've got to record blah, blah, blah. I forget her name on this. And she went, you're seriously going to make me go outside? And I showed her the scene and I went, do you want to ask me that again? She's like, no.
I will go outside.
Get out. And then I let her come back in, and then they all did an orgy Walla, and I'm like, why did I make you go outside? She's like, that's what I'm saying.
Oh man.
But no, I don't know. Can anyone really go I would love to lend my voice to awesomeness. There you go.
Yeah, again, that's kind of the secret to acting is being able to be willing to do everything, that comes your way, and that's kind of. I think nowhere do we have more opportunities to do that as often as we can doing voice work because, it goes, it's so quick, it's not like doing a stage production or a film where there's months and months and months preparing and then getting it done, and then it's over with. I mean, it all when you're voice acting, you do it very quick, and so especially
very
in
quick,
this
and
business,
you've got about one read through beforehand, if that.
And so it really builds your skills to be able to do anything on the spot, like at a moment's notice. If someone goes, "Hey, can you sing?" or "Hey, can you hit this high register?" and "Hey, can you do this accent?" You just kind of learn. It's really trial by fire, which is one of the things about it I love the most, is that I've learned so much about myself doing this kind of work, because I've learned that I can do more with my voice than I could ever do physically as an actor. Playing a 17-year-old kid, for example, I could never ever pass for a 17-year-old kid unless every other person in the production,
even when you were 17,
even when I was 17, but I can pass for one vocally or an old man or whatever. But that's what's fun about this kind of work, is that we get to do it. The skill set it builds is something you just never learn anywhere else, but by doing it here. Doing it in the booth and getting to play these characters and because the pressure is on, and it's fun and it's great. But yeah, so segueing now. That was a terrible segue. But segueing now into this. What is this about you and ventriloquism and dummies?
We were talking about it.
This is total news to me. And
it was. Oh no, we were talking. You're like, I can't wait to blah blah blah. I'm like, oh yeah, blah da 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 da. And he's like, wait, what? Dummies?
Like, what? Dummies?
We were talking about it randomly because it was that Facebook week where everyone had a doppelganger, and I kind of got sick of everyone putting up pictures, so I put up a picture of me. I put up a picture of Dolly Dearest, and where she's like,
oh yeah,
and then you messaged me, you're like, what is your picture? And I'm like, it's Dolly Dearest. Hello. You're like, oh, dolls. And then we got to dummies. And then we started talking. I'm like, maybe I should get a dummy.
Oh, yeah.
Where does that come from?
You're asking me? Oh,
Tell me about it.
Well, I've always loved toys. My favorite movie in the whole wide world is Toy Story. I don't know why. It's just... it's just always... Just look... Okay, whatever. Anyway,
no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly. So, I've always had, I don't know, I love the thought of toys coming to life, first of all. I love that there are these little things that just need you. The concept of Toy Story in itself is they need Andy. They need this boy to take care of them. That's how they get their sense of self-worth. And from then on,
I never thought about it like that.
Well, you got
a little choked up there. I'm not going to lie.
It makes me think of the Velveteen Rabbit.
Exactly. And as it kind of developed... I mean, I love Chucky, for instance. I love the scary movie Chucky. And one day I just went into an antique shop and I found a ventriloquist dummy, and I realized how frightening those are to some people, how terrifying they are. And I just realized... they need love. All they need is love. I want to be the ventriloquist mommy that takes care of the creepy
never found a dummy at an antique shop. That's such a lucky find.
It was a little cheapy
I've
plastic
seen too many
one.
episodes of Friday the 13th, the series, to ever be on board with that. I can't.
The most terrifying thing about the show was the acting.
Isn't that enough?
They always make me, especially like Nutcrackers, always make me think of Tommy Knockers. We're like, too late, Rose. Too late. But no, dolls, Dolly Dearest, all that stuff, and then.
So do you ventriloquize?
I don't ventriloquize, but I have a deep respect for it, and I'm very, very judgmental of ventriloquist people, like people that are on TV. I'll watch them. No.
That's wrong.
And,
I can see your lips.
We all do that, but it's just funny. Like I'll be watching like a doll movie with you, and you're like, pfft. I'm like.
Chucky would never do that. It was just whatever. No, but
how many dummies?
Huh?
How many dummies?
Let me think. I think I have 4 or 5 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are they? Like, do you have like what? This like do you have like Charlie McCarthy?
And, okay,
like,
I have a Charlie
or...
McCarthy. I have a Willie Talk, which is a little plastic. I have a
for novelty purposes only.
Not like Willie Talk.
I have a Charlie McCarthy.
That sounds like another talk show. We should do.
I have a Charlie McCarthy that someone has modified to look like the dummy from Dead Silence. Mm-hmm. I also have a Jerry Mahoney, I think his name is, who someone has fiddled with until he looks like his own thing, which I named Reggie Love. And
Nice.
don't judge me, whatever.
No,
Anyway.
I think it's awesome.
I'm not really
love-
comfortable being in the same room with you.
I love the thought. You know, I love
So
the thought.
late, Tatum.
I love ghosts and things
I've
like
got
that.
to do like the Nutcracker thing.
I should have brought him with me.
Oh my god, that is so cool. Well, okay, here's a question.
Okay.
Do you keep them in your room?
Yes.
Like plain sight?
Oh, it's
Not just lock them in the closet?
Okay, I just want to say this right now. I'm a freak. But, like,
No.
I am, yes.
We are not. We are totally normal.
It's like, okay, I get these weird vibes from him, like, he's totally evil. Well, I'm going to soften him up like butter tonight. And, okay, that sounded really weird. But, like, but anyway,
Well,
I'll keep them in my room. And it's like, over time, it's like we have this, like, bond. And it just, like, people come into my room and they do a double take because there's these horrifying creature dolls in my room.
the body.
And yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, no, they're good. They're
I just
good.
want to tell you right now, you are totally coming back for the Halloween episode.
Yes.
And you have
Yes,
to bring
yes,
your
yes.
dummies.
oh, dude, that's gonna suck.
Well,
like,
she
with
just
us
mentioned
around.
that she loves ghosts and creepy things like that. I'm like, we need to do a Halloween episode where we have all of our favorite actors on telling their favorite ghost stories.
Oh.
That should be like a total awesome Halloween thing. But
I'm
I'm getting ahead of myself.
I've gone to
You've
Jefferson,
been dead
Texas
for
twice
10
and spent the night in
years.
haunted hotels, and I've taken a dummy with me, and the hotel people are like, "What? What are
That's
you?"
weird.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
I
That's
just-
really want to go with you now.
Oh no, we Tatum and I like do a lot of like random like we're planning a lot of random trips, namely like to creationist museums, just to be like, hey.
Just
But
you people are funny.
if you're a creationist and you're listening, that's amazing, actually. But good. Why is the box talking? But bing bong bong bong. Oh god, no! You know what? I just realized, or not just realized, but I meant to mention you are our first female guest.
I was gonna
You
say
are
that, and I
our very
forgot.
first female guest.
Yep.
And I have another question here to you from Ben, which is a good
Y'all were
question.
giggling, so
It's a
Tatum
random
giggles, I
question.
cackle.
But she cackles, I giggle. I giggle like a schoolgirl.
Kaggle. Or
That's creepy.
gackle. Gickle.
Kegel?
Kegel?
Kegel? I don't know. That sounds like a last name.
No, Kegel's,
Okay, so anyway,
yeah.
the question to you, Miss Tia Ballard, from Ben.
Jaminoska.
Ben Jaminoska, is what's your favorite Tom Hanks movie and why?
why?
Okay, no, what's this thing with Tom Hanks? Do you have a thing for Tom Hanks?
Well, I have a thing from Woody from Toy Story. I mean,
Thank you for clearing that up.
Look,
I'm
sorry. When I was 10,
Really talk.
I was 10 when Toy Story came out, and I was.
Oh my God! Stop.
Shut up! I know.
Okay, you were how old when Toy Story came out?
I took the kids I was babysitting to go see Toy Story, and I was in the 6th grade when Toy Story came out.
Oh, all
Woody
of you stop.
Woody was my first love. He was, and
Those words are gonna come back down.
shut up. Shut up. And from then on, I was
Does he
watching
know how to
Tom
work
Hanks
you?
movies, and I find him. He's the type of guy that he's not absolutely like gorgeous, whatever, but he's the kind of guy you want to get on the couch and snuggle. Tom Hanks is.
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks' voice, maybe. Tom Hanks now, where he needs to realize that he's going bald and stop growing his hair out long. No.
No, that was bad. Yeah.
That's bad.
I
But
see a
Tom
lot of-
Hanks movie, favorite Tom Hanks movie, to everybody now.
My favorite Tom Hanks movie? Oh wow, I don't know. He's a remarkable actor. I can't really. I watch so few movies. I really do. I don't watch much of
Not
anything
around me.
anymore. I don't.
But-
You go first, and I'll think of something. By the
Well,
time
I don't know. I've watched everything.
I will say
that's the thing.
it's
like
probably it's unfair to call this my favorite Tom Hanks movie, but it's probably the one that I obsessed over the most as a kid because it came out when I was a kid, and I loved the movie Splash. I was obsessed with that. I don't know why. I think I wanted to be a mer person when I was a kid. I was like, that would be so cool to live underwater. Because I remember being a kid, and the big thing, if
I
all
wanted
of
to
us
do
had
the
watched that
whew.
show, was to
We're like when you jump out of water and just.
Yeah, well, no, I remember if you watch it all the way to the end of the credits, which was a pretty novel thing to do back in the day. This is before even VHS. Keep in mind, this was like you had to catch this stuff on HBO.
Before Daryl Hannah started living in the tree.
She's not played a human being very many times, has she?
She's missing part of her fingers.
She was in Planet of the Cave Bear. She was in Splash.
Anyways,
she played a fish. No, but if you get to the very end of the credits, like, you know, when she and Tom Hanks are like swimming underwater in the ocean, like he's gone with her now. There's a very brief shot of like this underwater city that they're swimming to before it fades to black and the rest of the credits come up, and it's really cool. And being a kid watching that, going, I want to live there. So I was obsessed with that movie, but I don't know that that's my favorite Tom Hanks performance.
I know. I didn't realize it, but I became like a big humanities geek in high school. Like mythology, I became like a big thing, and then I started researching composers and all that stuff. Something that I kind of hide, obviously.
Yeah.
But my humanities teacher made me watch Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh my gosh!
No, okay, I can't believe anything but that. That is my
that's my favorite.
That is my favorite Tom Hanks movie.
I can't
believe it took someone else mentioning that.
My friend and I always quote that movie.
We had to watch that in humanities.
That movie like makes or breaks friendships of mine in the past. People that like don't get that. But like, how do you like this movie? I'm like, get out. We can't know each other.
The characters are so great.
I love that movie.
That shows that Meg Ryan could act in her day.
That's such a quirky little film, and I love when they go to Wapuni Woo
the symbolism.
and they're all wearing
the orange soda.
the orange soda cans, and like the guy, I forget the actor's name that plays the chief, and he's like, so you're gonna jump into the volcano, okay? It's just like that movie is so funny and quirky, but for some reason it has some deep.
There's some my teacher would pause it. He's like, okay, here. Did you see what he did here? See, whenever like he held out his hand openly, she gave him her closed fist, and I'm like.
Well, the recurring symbol of like the weird little zigzag thing. That's like
the lightning and the sidewalk,
and then it's the sidewalk, and then it's the path up the volcano.
Joe versus the volcano. Big was good, but
Big was great.
It's Joe versus the volcano for me. It's Big. Toy Story was good. I liked Forrest Gump until I became a film geek. I became a film student, not a geek, and then I just went, Spielberg, okay. Like that. I'm that douchebag now. But we're just like, oh, well, see what he really should have done to make it look like he wasn't just being a complete ass. Like, I can do this because I'm Steven the fucking Spielberg. Is, right. But Philadelphia's good, too. Philadelphia.
I like Road to the Perdition.
I haven't watched it.
That's a good movie, too.
I've read the book.
Road to Perdition and You've Got Mail. It's a romance comedy.
If it's on, I'll watch it, even though I'm like,
I've never seen that's that one. Road to Perdition is another one. I think for me, it's weird. I don't really think of Tom Hanks movies because he's such a good actor that I wouldn't. He doesn't quite disappear into all of his roles the way that some actors can, like Gary Oldman can. And in the right circumstances, Gary Oldman can just completely. I'm like, that's Gary. I've been
but to
Gary
the point
Oldman.
where like he's lost many a relationship to that.
Yeah, well, I suppose, but Tom Hanks has made some really great choices in his career acting wise. He's done some really risky stuff. I love Road. I'm glad. See, I'd forgotten about that too. It's been so long since I've seen it. But Road to Perdition is good. Joe versus the Volcano is. I love that movie. I haven't watched it in years. I need to go back and see it. But
we need to get together and just watch movies. Mario, Joe vs. Volcano, Mario Kart. We could have a fun night.
Yeah, well, Mario Kart's going to take all night. Well,
Whatever.
Actually, it'll take me an hour to kick your ass. If that.
So we got the dummies. We got that. There was a request for you to sing.
Yes. What was someone wanted you to sing
a high-pitched,
annoying voice.
I didn't know you sang. Do you sing?
Do you sing?
No.
Then this will be awesome.
I'm just gonna go high.
We'll just
sing it. I'll give you some motivation. I'll direct you. Okay, how about this?
You know
and feel free to ignore me like you normally do.
Wait, what?
I'm kidding. Okay, let's sing something like you're one of your dolls.
Oh my gosh! No.
Come on! I thought you'd be home.
Or Mary Poppins. Or
no.
Mary
Okay.
Poppins.
Wait.
Come on, we're just gonna
sing anything.
Anything you want. You can sing Santa Baby.
What they want? High pitched and annoying.
Yes.
High pitched and adorable, which is a stretch for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have trouble believing this.
All right. Y'all talk about something while I think.
So,
it's
how come
snowed.
every time they come around her London Bridge want to go down?
We've already discussed that
What?
on your thingy deal.
Yeah,
I'm lost. What do you...
Fergie. Fergie, how come every time you come around my
Stop
London Bridge want to go down?
You're turning my mind. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Please do something.
I'm taking a song from Cartoon Planet
Hmm.
with Brack and Zorak and Space Ghost. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to modify it as best I can.
Okay.
Here we go.
Don't distract it.
Sorry.
For real. One day I bumped into this big shot radio guy I know. He said, I'm really desperate. Would you like to guest a show? I said I'm kind of busy here saving the world from crime. But if the money's right, then buddy, show me where to sign. Show her where to sign. I knew I need some hosts or I would surely fail. I remember I had Terri and Tatum locked up in my jail. I told them all about the show. They were happy as can be. Yeah, right. The show was that anime show and the guest today is me. Me. That anime show starring me.
That was
Thank you.
epic.
That was all kinds of fucking awesome. There, look, I just said a curse word.
You got all here like a fucking
Oh dear. Tia Ballard made me say fucking.
Surely.
Oh dear.
Say a cuss word, Tia. Say a cuss word.
Darn it.
That's not a curse word.
Damn it.
You're not a cusser, are you?
I
You
don't really.
cuss.
It just
That's
no.
very noble.
That's why I'm testing.
You know
it
what? I do it, but only
Ooh, you just
around
said
like
doo-doo.
certain. Ooh, doo-doo. I said doo-doo. Only around certain people I feel comfortable because, like, I don't
Like
know.
around like the biker outlaws, you hang around like you totally okay.
My
Well, that's
pimp.
understandable.
My
That's
pimp,
just-
She's like
you know,
smoking. She's all fucking sandy at the end of fucking Grease. Just like, tell me about it. Get off my fucking bike. Just my favorite. Okay, I cuss all the time, and I really think it's because my dad did not listen to my mom's like, don't cuss around her, but my mom was probably like, don't fucking cuss around her. And then we were at dinner with all the Dotys who totally loved my mom's sarcasm, and it gets very quiet. Everyone's eating dinner, and then you just hear,
Fuck it.
my first words.
Oh honey, she said.
They're like, oh my god, what did she just say? My mom's like, oh. My dad's all
I was at a Thanksgiving dinner once, and my grandpa and I were trading insults, and I called him a bastard. I didn't know what it meant. I heard it from Dumb and Dumber.
I do believe you won.
What did your nephew do to you? Like, where he called you like Uncle Asshole?
Yeah, well, both of my nephews had trouble saying Michael when they were little. And, well, they're still little, but when they were first learning how to talk, it would come out like, oh. And my brother, it's a good thing I love him, was like, oh, it sounds like they're saying asshole. So for the longest time, like when it was just us, the kids would be around, hi, Uncle Asshole. And they still said that until like a few years ago. I'm like, please do not call me Uncle Asshole. But they're like, hey, Uncle Asshole, or Uncle Crazy Ass is another friend. They'd love to call me Uncle Crazy Ass. Those kids. Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Just because they couldn't say Michael, it was easier to say asshole than Michael. Like, what kind of world do we live in where it's easier to say asshole than it is to say Michael?
I don't know.
Though,
the kind of world where people that happen to just live in a particular part of New Jersey that fake get their own frickin' TV show from the Jersey Shore. I'm like, why is this happening? Why are you called The Situation?
I don't know this show you speak of.
The Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I'm not going to watch it.
No, I didn't want. I watched The Soup. I'm obsessed with Joel McHale. Joel McHale. Yeah, but yeah, no, that kind of world that's the kind of world we live in where asshole is easier to say than Michael. Just like it's like fuck you instead of hello there.
Or a world where Michael and asshole are pretty much just interchangeable.
Like, hey, asshole. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. You know, tomato, tomato.
You say tomato, and I say tomato.
Like, you say tomato, and I say get out.
There's a great sketch somewhere. Maybe Monty Python did it, but it's of them, somebody's sight reading that song for the first time who'd never ever heard it. So this guy's like, I say tomato, and you say tomato. I say pajamas, and you say pajamas. Tomatoes, tomatoes, pajamas. Let's call the whole thing off. I don't see what's wrong with their relationship, personally. That's a great gag. I love that. It was from something. It's from some Monty Python album, I'm pretty sure, or I want to say so. But yeah, it's so funny. I love that. But. Oh my God! You this has been awesome. You sank
so
everything.
Much fun.
This has been a great thing. Come on, Ad, do you have any questions you want to ask us now? That just off the fly?
Let's get comfy.
Let's get comfy.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
Let's
anything. It doesn't have to be anime related. Anything you want to know.
Anything.
Oh, well,
anything.
This is about us.
Unzipping hoodie now.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm now zipping it up. No, I just wanted to get it on the mic. Just. All right.
Okay. All right. I have. Okay. I got one. Okay. People always ask. You two have directed. People always ask, "What do you want from the actor when they come in?" What do you not want?
For them to feel like they know the character better than we do.
At first, anyway.
At first, but if it's a reoccurring character, and they're coming back, for the most part, they can get a read that I never would have seen or heard in my head ever. I don't like to give people reads, but occasionally it'll happen just because you're like, okay, I know you're trying, but your voice is going out, so just repeat, please. But for the most part, I really hate arrogance. I hate finding that I'm arrogant, and I love having an engineer comfortable enough to be like, you need to tone it down. You need to tone it down. Oh shit, I do need to tone it down. but for the most part, arrogance and not really being a team player. That really sucks. If you're not easy to work with, it's really hard for me to cast you. Especially my big thing. You can treat me like crap, which never happens. With actors that work there anymore, anyway, or work there often. But the engineer is the most important person in the room. On my side of the booth, anyway. But if the engineer's not there, you're not being recorded. And I obviously do have a biased opinion because I've watched audio on the other aspect of it. But always, my big thing is respect. For the engineer especially. Treat me like crap all you want. Do not diss my engineer. I will call off a session. And I have.
Unfortunately, you don't run into people like that very
No,
often,
but occasionally you get people that feel that
They're
they
thankful
should.
for work,
Yeah. Well, and that's,
arrogance.
Arrogance. I don't like dealing with arrogance, and I haven't had to, really. I really can't think of any time off the top of my head, because, most actors because part of the audition process, I find, is being able to tell, how's this person going to... They may be giving really awesome reads, but maybe something about them, maybe something in the way they took an audition direction makes you think, oh, they're not going to be very easy to direct. I think an actor's job, and this is coming at it with an actor's bias, is the actor's job is to be directed. Yeah. And
we're not there just for you to...
I don't want the actor to feel like they can't... offer their input into something or question an idea if I have it. I love that kind of dialogue between an actor and director, but I don't like an actor that comes in, and again, I've never really experienced this. I've heard horror stories of, days gone by, people that are no longer in the industry for that very reason, who just treated everyone like they were children and didn't know what they were doing. And I have to say for the record real quick, I was not referring to anyone that I've ever worked with. I'm saying for instance, because they, anyone that I've had a problem with, I turn off the mic and tell them. Yeah. I'm very protective of my actors, and I'm very protective of my engineers. I'm very because I think the ideal actor is someone who understands. It's just like the ideal writer, the ideal director, the ideal engineer are all people that understand how very, very intensely collaborative it is, that none of us really ultimately has the final say. It's all something that comes together. The director's job is to make it come together, but in the end, the director has to wear a lot of hats and has to be open to a lot of different things. And actors that just can contribute to the process without I mean, the best actors in any venue, whether we're talking stage, screen, or voice acting, or what have you, I think the best actors are the ones that can put their egos on the back burner. It's not about you as an actor; it's about the character, like you were saying earlier. You know, with in the example of Full Metal Alchemist, you know, it's about the character, and it's all of us are there to put our own personal drama, our own needs, or whatever, have to take a back seat to what we're doing. We really have to kind of submit ourselves to something a little larger than ourselves, whether even if it is just an anime, for example. But, you know, I'm like, you believe in it. And you want an actor that has that same spirit, that's excited about it. And I feel, because I've never run into an actor that doesn't feel that way, I feel that it's a director's, it's my fault as a director if I can't get an actor there, if I can't make an actor feel good about the work they've done or excited about the work they're doing. I feel that I failed them. So, but yeah, I agree with you. It's you know, it's people with attitudes. It's something that you get from a lot of people that just is kind of going off into a tangent. But you know, I get asked a lot when I go to conventions and stuff. People want to know like what the secret to acting is and voice acting, and I'm like, well, there really isn't a secret to it. I mean, there is no.
We all so many. I mean, just. None of us came here the same way, you know?
No,
I mean,
there's
a lot of actors have that thing. Like, I was discovered in a pizza place, and I'd say, fuck you. But, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was discovered. I didn't look for this. It kind of found me, and I just...
Well, found you. It dragged you.
It dragged me. It dragged me kicking and screaming, into the booth. I don't want to do this. Do it. But
smacking you around.
The biggest advice, or the best advice, you know, non-specific advice I can give to people that want to become voice actors, and I bring this up because you talk about as a director, I imagine this is what directors look for as well, is, you know, it doesn't matter how talented you might be. I mean, you know, you need to be talented, of course, you need to work hard to get there, but at the end, it really is all luck, and you know, with being in the right place at the right time, and there's really nothing, there's no set of hard and fast rules you can follow to get you there.
Yeah.
But I have learned through my experience that by some odd coincidence, luck does tend to favor people who are humble and who have the right attitude. You know, people that don't come in beating the door down, thumping their chest, insisting that they're going to just be the next big thing, and everyone just bow down. I mean, some people have this fantasy of, and for them, you can tell immediately that it's not about the acting for them. It's about the so-called fame.
Right. It's about the cred.
It's about the cred, and it's like, you know, if that's all you're in it for, you're not an actor. You know, it's all about acting. And people ask about voice acting. Chris Ayres, for example, and Greg Ayres are very fond of saying the key word in that phrase is acting. So learn how to act, and that means putting your ego and all that stuff out. You know, that does not follow you into the booth unless it's part of your character, and even then, make sure it stays in character.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, saying, you know, the arrogance, but yes, luck is a big thing, and you're doing yourself no favor by feeling that you are somehow entitled to a part ever.
Right.
Another big thing, time. I'm a theater background. I started out as a techie, and I really hate actors that feel that they can come in late. I really hate it. But like occasionally they'll be like, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm like, it's okay. The time that you were late, we are going over that exact amount of time.
I was late 2 minutes, and she was outside waiting for me, stomping her foot. And true story, I was coming in late. I was like, oh, maybe her watch is behind by 2 minutes, and I'll be the badass that walks in right at 2 o'clock. No, and she's like out there waiting. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm never late. I really I'm so sorry.
Well, see, but with you, it's like, thank God I overbooked you.
Because I consistently underdeliver. So yeah.
Why do I keep guessing? This is a horrible decision.
So what about you, Terri? Like, what is one thing that you can? What piece of advice can you give to people who want to do this?
That was my upstairs neighbor. We call him Gay Fat Man.
I was thinking about him when I drove over. I was like, I wonder if he's going to make a noise. Interesting noises I've heard about gay and fat.
Let me just say, by way of a very brief tangent here, that it beats the hell out of a room full of laughing elephants.
It's true.
Okay.
Just saying. That's directed at no one or nothing in particular. I'm just saying it beats the hell out of certain.
All right, I saw something shiny. Ask me again.
Okay, what is one piece of advice you could give to people who want to be in the business? He's already given his.
Want to be
we
in
can
the
all
business.
give a little piece of dilly-dabba.
Now, I'll say that
Don't even say
luck,
anything.
like Tatum found it very randomly. Like, yes, I was brought in as Joel McDonald just randomly called me in. I didn't know Joel before that. He just called me in. I'd never acted before, and it's because he had heard that I had acted before. And then I was put in the database. But then it was about school and all that stuff. The database. I don't know where that accent went. The database. But I'd say it's all about, it's not, by no means do I feel that any of the actors that I admire and look up to feel that at any point they're like, I have perfected my craft. It's constantly perfecting your craft. So for me, it's been 11 years in the acting business as far as film, which most of them will never see the light of day, thank God. Stage, stuff like that. Even just writing. I write every day, at least for 20 minutes. Every day. If it's not my blog, it's pen and paper, and I actually use pen and paper because I don't really write that much unless I'm making myself do so. I think it's just a matter of making yourself do stuff. To me, honing your craft and getting stuff is the same to me as making myself work out. I'm not going to complain that I'm not getting parts when I'm not doing anything to better myself.
Right.
I mean, I still, like you said that you're very new. I'm still very new in every aspect of it. And by no means do I feel anyone's just like, oh, well, I have been here 2 years. It's been 2 years for me, February, this month, as a actor and now as a blah, blah, blah. And I'm nowhere near where I think I could be. I don't think I'll ever be satisfied. Never be satisfied. That's probably never be satisfied with, that's okay. Be unsure of yourself, but take risks. Take risks.
Now, what about you, Tia? What's your advice to any aspiring voice actors?
I think my advice, and this pretty much hits close to home, is to, don't be cocky, of course, but don't sell yourself short either, especially in the acting world. When I went to Disney World, that's what inspired me to become a voice actor. And I knew where I wanted to work. I wanted to work for Funimation. And I even gave myself a deadline by,
That's really cool.
by the time I'm 23,
really cool.
I'm going to have that job where, whatever.
Or I am going to cut my thigh.
Exactly. Well, I don't know about that, but what I found myself, something that I noticed about myself was if things weren't going my way, it turned into, instead of, oh, I want to do this, it turned into, how am I going to ever do this? I don't know how I'm going to do it. And when you sell yourself short like that, you can't do your best work. And if you're listening to this and you want to be a voice actor, please don't think you can't do it, because that's what's going to stop you from doing it. You should always do anything you can to do that, no matter what odds are stacked against you, because you can do this. You can be a voice actor. And, also, don't wake up in the morning thinking, if I could just be whatever, I'd be happy. I'll be happy if I could just become a voice actor. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy the process of getting to where you're going to do, because once you are a voice actor, you're still not going to find that happiness. You're going to be like, oh, I'm a voice actor now, and I'm still not happy. What's the deal?
I'm always jumping to the next lily pad.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
When you're scared, when you doubt yourself, you don't practice as hard as you should.
Yeah.
So once you're in that situation where you are voice acting, you are like, oh crap, what do I do now? Because that's what happened to me, and it's terrifying, And the first few months I was in Funimation, it's like, oh, I wanted this so badly. Now I have no freaking idea what I need to do to stay here.
Yeah.
So that's my advice, is to just be confident and work
Blackmail
your butt
works.
off.
Well, and you bring up a good point, and I'd like to add something to it if I may. But you speak of,
I think we're gonna go.
Okay. Because this has come up before as well, and this is something I try to tell aspiring actors and directors, writers, whatever, is that you do need confidence. You're absolutely right, and you brought up a good word, doubt. That you can't doubt yourself, and it's not. I don't disagree with that. I think you're absolutely right, but I would say, as an actor, I think you have to learn. I think the biggest mistake a lot of aspiring anythings make, when they want to get into, I want to be this, I want to be that, and what keeps them out is their fear. Is there's a wonderful phrase from Doctor Who, because I'm a Doctor Who geek. It really is. I am. But this comes from like the third Doctor, the John Pertwee years in the 70s and 80s, and he said something to his companion at the time when he says, "Courage has nothing to do with not being afraid. It's about being afraid and doing what you have to do anyway." And I've always loved that phrase, and it's always stuck with me. And I find that to be nowhere as true as, trying to follow your star, as it were. Because rather than, I think the biggest mistake some people make is they try to overcompensate for their doubt by being overconfident, and that doesn't work. I think what they have to do first,
and I don't want to work with that.
and what they have to learn to do is to own that doubt, to use it, to motivate them to do better. My first experience in the booth as an actor, I was terrified and full of doubt, and I luckily had an awesome director, i.e. Christopher Bevins, who taught me how to, he was like, you know what, you're hiding it. Stop trying to hide how frightened you are and let it come out.
He did that
let
to me.
Let it be there. And I did, and it helped my performance immensely, and it kind of turned me into, I'm like, because you're an actor, you have to be something of a garbage disposal. You have to learn to use everything you've got. If you walk in the door that day and you're not feeling very well, you have to learn how to transform by some weird alchemy. You have to learn how to transform that into your performance that day. If you have doubt, if you're overconfident, you have to learn how to use all of it. And that's the thing, is learning how to sort of channel that energy, if you will. And that's the thing. The first rule, somebody asked me, it was at OhioCon. They asked me the question, like, what's it like acting? Like this very general question. And my answer was, I find, and let me know if you agree with this, but I think some people, not some, I think a lot of people are attracted to acting, at least in the beginning, because it sort of paints itself in their mind as an escape from the sort of drudgery of their everyday lives. But the deeper you get into it, the more you discover it's the exact opposite. To be a good actor, you have to be willing to look very, very hard and very deep into yourself, and you can't run. There's no escape. You have to own that. Who you are, and you have to go to some sometimes very dark, very emotional places, and it's not an escape at all. It's sort of the exact opposite. It's the old adage.
I would agree. Actually, I would say the best acting I do are the hats that I wear as Terri Doty.
Aww.
The best acting, because I can't act the same way I act with the two of you that I act with my mother. I don't act the same way that I do with you that I do with my husband or my brother or blah, blah, blah. Acting, to me, is pretty much a everyday thing. It doesn't matter whether or
You're
not
always
I'm in a mic. Or it's like that, I'm wearing the sister hat, I'm wearing the daughter hat, I'm wearing the pissed off wife hat. And a regular wife hat. No, it's
where's that hat? Really? No.
Disposal. But no, what was it? Having to do a sex scene, yeah. Pretty intense. But not only that, you can't even just hide it the way you would, let's say, maybe like a real sexual experience where you can just be like, and I'm totally going to fake my emotions throughout this entire process. It's like, not only that, I can't even rely on my physical. I've got to internalize it, but externalize it with only my voice. That's pretty fucking...
It's very challenging, and I think my philosophy of acting has been, or has kind of, my philosophy, philosophy, that's just philosophy. Phlosssphy. Philosophy.
Couch. COW. Anyways.
But I've learned that... the acting is really, for me, the philosophy I've sort of developed over the years of doing this is, I think for me, what gets me through a performance, and I say gets me through like it's a chore and I hate it, it's not, but it is work, it's always a challenge. I mean, there's never ever a time when I'm in the booth going, oh, this is easy, I can do this blindfolded. I've never had that experience, and I don't want that experience, because if I can get that bored with it, I'm clearly not doing what I should be doing anymore. But I've learned every time I step up to the mic, for example, or in other venues, where you're acting, you have to learn. It's really somewhere inside of you is that character. Somewhere inside of you is this person that you might not ever have been able to relate to if you met them on the street. You might be repelled by this person and want to punch them, or you might pity
find
them,
a way to
or mutter.
it,
but you have to get inside their head and become that person and rationalize who and what they are. And I've learned so much about myself and my own limitations and my own shortcomings as a human being by being an actor and having to kind of force myself to get my head around some characters that are not always very pleasant characters. It's why I love playing bad guys as often as I do. And it's not just because I love being the bad guy I find bad guys extremely challenging because
their road
isn't
isn't fucking yellow bricked and shit. It's like, they're never just bad to be bad.
No, that's the thing. Bad guys don't ever think they're bad. Bad guys think they're doing the world a service, or they think they're justified in their vengeance or something. In a number of ways. And I think I love playing villains because, it is fun to be the bad guy because you are kind of the one that sets the story in motion. But on a much deeper, even if you will say spiritual level, there's part of you that has to come to terms and realize that, we're all on the same road. Even the bad guys in life, we're all kind of, there, but for, good luck or whatever, the grace of God, whatever you want to call it, go I. And so acting, I think somebody asked me that question, is why I bring it up, the whole villain thing, was, do I like playing villains? And I do, but because I think it's taught me how to be a better person. Because I get into I make such an effort, I try to anyway, to get inside their heads and rationalize some of these vile things, and I've played characters that have done some pretty vile things in my career, and it's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Why, who would do this? Guy's an asshole. Like, I would never, who does this? But by forcing yourself to get yourself in that mindset, you empathize with that bad guy and being able to understand how his mind works. I'm like, hopefully I will be able to avoid the same psychological pitfalls in life that would make me do something similarly horrible, but convince myself that I'm doing good. Hopefully I will avoid that from having gotten, forced myself inside, around into the heads of these bad guys. So hopefully.
Hopefully.
Oh, we've been gabbing on for a long time now. This has been awesome.
I'd say that it's probably about that time.
It probably is about the time. Is there anything you would like to leave? A note you would like to leave us on? Any first female guest?
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody!
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody!
Cartoony hearts for all.
Eat chocolate.
And this should be up by tonight, so I can go ahead and say FMA tonight.
Mm-hmm. Watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
That's what I'm doing tonight. But thank you for listening, and I'm sorry that we talked your ear off. And remember, we've got some surprises in store for you. Next week we have Anastasia Munoz, or Tasha. I like to call her Tasha.
I always call her Tasha
next week. So look forward to that and get questions sent to that anime show at gmail.com. I'm Terri Doty.
I'm J. Michael Tatum.
I'm Tia Ballard.
And we'll see you next time.
The best guest ever.
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 Take that, other people.